Hey, catch Catherine Hartree here. She may think the ace-jack is a little too strong.
Well, aces are cheap here. All the players with an ace so far, it's going to be, the importance of a kicker.
Raise.
Now,
Is Smurfett setting a trap?
well, I don't know, but
17,000 for the bet.
whether he is or not, it has worked because Catherine Hartree is stepping
Pass.
out with ace-jack of clubs here. Could find herself in big trouble as these rag hands
Pass.
get out of the way. We are going to see how the action
Pass.
develops. It should be very interesting.
It's a total of 18,000. I think Craig's going to be outside, but if Alan Smurfett was waiting to
Yeah.
spring on the lady,
Pass.
now is the time.
That's right. If he was laying the trap, he'll re-raise here. Otherwise, he may elect to just flat call. He's shaking his head saying, man, every time I come into this pot, you pounce on me. And Alan Smurfett is smart enough to know that ace-queen is a hand that, loses a lot of big pots because it can lose to ace-king. And here, Catherine Hartley takes another one.
Amazing. Smurfett played possum, and Hartree went up the tree there and has won this pot with a raise.
Before I go up.
Well, Alan Smurfett, a conservative player, showed it there. But sometimes, you have to be able to pull the trigger, especially in that situation.
Catherine Hartree not lacking in aggression. 7 hands won here. How strong is she right now?
Very strong. She's taking an aggressive posture, driving fear into her opponents, gaining a lot of respect at the table. Her judgment is what, in certain situation is what's going to come into play. But she's acting on her opponent's weakness. When Alan doesn't come into that pot with a significant raise, they're basically saying, go ahead and take it. I don't have much of a hand. So that's why I don't think Alan was really playing possum as much as he was playing the conservative approach, and protecting his chips.
Catherine Hartree there, straight backed at the table. She looks like a player in form. She's got a lot of confidence.
She certainly does. That's a good point. I like how you mentioned that, Jesse. Straight back in form.
Pass.
Your posture at the table, very important. Look at Alan Smurfett's posture. Okay, a little bit frustrated. Catherine sitting up
Pass.
and confident,
Well,
as
this
is Christofferson here. He also has a very nice posture at the table as he looks down at King 5.
Yeah, Miss Manners would be proud, and Christofferson here coming in
been raised
with
up
the
to
raise.
12,000 total.
Triple the bet to 12.
Pass. 10 to call.
Jesse, I'm a big believer that communication is 10% verbal and 90% body language. And you can see now,
Clayton has had enough
He
of the
raised all-
Christofferson.
as Clayton
This is the second
has
time.
broken down, he looks recoiled in his chair. He looks broken down. But he's going to take an aggressive posture here. Wow.
It's almost like he's looking to double up or go home. And I think Christofferson,
He senses it. I mean, he I think when he's asking for a countdown, he senses that Clayton is on a move here. His problem is that he doesn't have much of a hand himself to take a stand with him against.
it's amazing. King 5, no hand at all, but he'd actually be a favorite here, wouldn't he?
A slight favorite, about a 3-2 favorite.
He's got the price to call.
Pass.
Well, I don't know. You really don't have the price to call there, Jesse, because there's too many hands that you can be dominated with, like King 10, King 9. So that's why he elected to get out of the way.
So Dave Clayton out on the arm there. And look, he's like a boxer.
Yeah,
I
true.
mean,
True to his looks, he was very aggressive in that hand.
gosh, Smurfett has gotten low in his seat, hasn't he?
Pass.
Looks like he's ready for a snooze.
He has to reach up to the cards. That's how low Alan Smurfett has sunk. But luckily, his chips have not sunk that low. He's just biding his time, as we look at the watch of Paul Christofferson.
Pass.
And that late position fold by Christofferson with a hand he would have been raising with earlier. Perhaps he just did not feel like he wanted to commit all his
Right.
chips.
Well, it just hasn't been working. That move has not been working for him. Had he waited to this time to make that move, it would have worked effectively because he has some, semblance of a hand. Although it might not have worked, as we see Simon Craig now picks up ace-queen suited in the big blind, is going to make a raise.
Yeah, it's a re-raise on Clayton's small blind move, and this will be a bit of the hammer strike.
Yep. Now remember, those red chips are 5,000. The blues are 2,000. So it looks like
It's 14 plus. It's not a huge re-raise. It's almost enticing.
I'm going to raise all in.
Raise all in.
He has given Clayton the rope to hang himself with, and now Clayton's got his chips in first. I mean, it almost is like Craig has set a trap here.
Well, maybe, but Craig is remember, he's a very patient type of player. He may get away from this ace-queen thinking it's no good. I can't imagine that he would fold here, but
Would you like a countdown?
Well, I think these two close in chips, though Craig has him outduked, and it'll be Dave Clayton all in. He's not going to like this. Dave Clayton could be the first smoked.
yeah, he's going to find himself at a disadvantage, about a 3-2,
59.
6-4 disadvantage here.
I mean,
Against Simon Craig, which, isn't as bad as it looks.
did the size of the re-raise have everything to do with why Clayton got his chips in, or was he just
I think
impatient?
so. No, I think Clayton maybe just read the situation wrong, thought that Craig was weak, thought he could get him off the hand. Obviously, he didn't think he would call. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put all of his chips in the middle with just
59,000
king
call.
6.
2-1 against is Clayton. Craig in a very strong position to go chip leader here in this 174,000 pot. But 5 cards of Fickle Fate coming down the pike. And
You can see both players intently staring, waiting for the board to be drawn out and see what the cards have for their fate.
that flop helps neither player, which is pretty strong for Craig. A king or 6 are Clayton's magic bones right now. Here's the turn. Oh, it's a 6! That's trouble! That is trouble now! Simon Craig,
Wow.
6 outs.
He needs an ace or a queen, or he will be damaged significantly.
This is desperately unlucky for Simon Craig. Here's the river.
It's a 4. Wow.
Sometimes you stick your head in it and come up like roses. And Simon Craig will have to feel like he did everything right there.
6,000. We're going to change our dealer.
Well, big hand and Simon Craig feeling the pain.
Well, very interesting development, Jesse. A surprising result. Simon Craig on the short end of a very unlucky situation, but he set the trap himself. He just made a very small raise against Clayton, who went for the bait, put all of his chips in and walked into ace-queen, but only found himself at a very little disadvantage and walked away with the pot.
Yeah, and Clayton there showing he wasn't scared to go out first, and now with a chip lead, Craig way on the back foot. Will he be first out? We'll see.
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
Still 6, but 1 is tottering. Simon Craig down to only 17,000. He's in the small blind here. Kenna, how many hands does he have before he's got to get those chips across the line?
Probably this one. Tottering, is that the same as teetering?
It's,
or is it the opposite?
It's the opposite. If you're on a seesaw, one is teetering and one is tottering.
Well, who's the teeterer? The one on the bottom or the one on top?
I think in Simon Craig's situation right now, it's the guy who is being thrown off.
Right, so that would be the guy that was teetering, not tottering. I knew there was a mistake in that analysis. I just couldn't find it right away.
It's a total of 17,000, and Alan Smurfett has a decision here with a Very low ace. He says it's no decision, and is that a good call?
Absolutely. Ace high, heads up.